Monday, February 3rd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. We have a lot of ground to cover. Let's get right into it, starting with a look back at those numbers from yesterday. Check out our highs on Sunday. 68 degrees, the high in Charlotte, 65 in Greensboro, 64 in Raleigh, even Boone hitting 60 yesterday. That is a far cry from overall the extremely cold January we had. And it is still very mild at the time I'm cutting this video here about 5:30 in the morning on Monday. A lot of folks in the 50s, even Boone at 50 degrees. Winds out of the south really cranking ahead of a low pressure and a cold front that will bring us some rain at times today, and especially the farther north you go in the area, and eventually falling temperatures later today. There's your rain over the northwest Piedmont extending back into the mountains this morning. The rain fairly extensive off to the north and west of us. There's your shield of snow from northern New Jersey into Pennsylvania, Maryland, northern West Virginia, Kentucky, and southern Ohio. And there's that massive rain from the mountains down into Georgia, eastern Tennessee. That's headed our way, and we'll have that most consistent period of rain across the foothills and the Piedmont this morning, but even this afternoon. A few lingering showers are a possibility. So there's our storm system rolling into the region. Take a peek at Futurecast. And even this afternoon, some showers a possibility along parts of the I-85 corridor, although the bigger story this afternoon will be falling temperatures. And then we're going to have a classic cold air damming or a wedge type of day tomorrow behind this storm system. So there goes that system off to the east. Tomorrow looks like a day with clouds, drizzle, light rain, and temperatures struggling to move much at all. Then on Wednesday, looks like we'll see the wedge erode very briefly just ahead of an incoming cold front. Some showers, at least a few of them possible Wednesday with milder temperatures before we get into a more sustained chilly period thereafter. Now, I'm going to show you the more detailed modeling on this coming up in just a moment. Take a look at the GFS model. It's actually updated now, the background charts with the 6Z which I'll show you in just a second. In terms of the placement of the upper air features and the surface features. But this was the 0Z run of the European, the GFS rather, of the snowfall chart. It was a big winter storm track on the 0Z run for the Carolinas, at least upstate of South Carolina, on up through a good chunk of North Carolina. Now the European is farther north with the features. And again, I'll show you all this in more detail in just a second. But there's the European snow chart coming up here, and much less favorable track on the European for Carolina winter weather. So let's get into the more detailed modeling here. Let's start with the European model. Here we are Wednesday. Next little disturbance driving that cold front through that I showed you. But out at 144 hours, there is your next piece of energy diving to the Red River Valley. That's Saturday evening. And then there's the positioning on that by Sunday morning. Now let's compare that with the 0Z run of the GFS Sunday morning. The feature a little bit further south, a little bit more intense, and it actually turns into a pretty intense closed upper air low. Again, this was the 0Z run of the GFS. And so the difference here at the surface, as you get into the weekend, looks like this. This is Friday on the European model. There is Saturday, some rain showers. And there you go, Saturday night into Sunday. And that is a track that gives the Carolinas largely rain. Maybe some back-end snow in the mountains, but that would be about it on the 0Z European solution. Now on the 0Z GFS, if you like winter weather, this is a dream run for you in many spots of the Carolinas. Low pressure near Pensacola Sunday morning. And then it's basically is a Miller A track with essentially one low pressure tracking up to near the coast. The main low pressure never really makes it west of the mountains, and so this is basically just a Miller A track on this run of the GFS. There's your preset moving in, cold air damming, the 850 temperatures sub-zero all the way down to the North and South Carolina border region around Charlotte, and surface temperatures sub-freezing in those same areas. There you are by Sunday evening on that 0Z run of the GFS. And then finally, the system pulls away Sunday night, but not before dumping a lot of wintry precip. Now, in terms of the ensembles, that is the GFS ensemble position at 156 hours. Excuse me, let's compare that with the operational. Okay, so there's the operational position. There is the ensemble mean position. Ensemble mean a little quicker, but really the overall track was pretty similar. Okay, there is the European ensemble mean for 156 hours, and it is further north and west, closer to the operational solution. Let's go grab the operational European from that same general time frame. And you notice the operational run a little bit more to the northwest of the ensemble mean. So that a lot of times that means maybe you see some adjustment south of the operational run in future cycles. If you're wondering about the Canadian, this is what it looks like Sunday morning. Low pressure, more similar to the GFS orientation of this storm system than what the European had, and it is a track that brings some winter precip to much of the Carolinas. Now, again, the 6E GFS just in-house. Grabbed a couple of those frames. This is Sunday morning on the latest run of the GFS. Low pressure a little bit further north. That is a very healthy Miller B scenario with cold air damming. And watch this primary low. There it is on this chart. And then watch by 6 hours later, you're seeing that coastal low begin to develop, and surface temperatures sub-freezing in a good chunk of the foothills in the Piedmont. Take it verbatim, and again, take it verbatim, that is a North Carolina ice storm, at least for a period of time, on the 6E GFS. One last thing to show you. This is what the WPC is indicating with their preliminary charts this morning, Sunday morning. A further north and west solution than what that 0Z GFS run indicated, and more in line with what the European was showing. But I'm telling you, we're going to continue to see some model variation, and anything is possible in terms of the evolution of that system over the weekend. A lot to continue to watch and keep a track on. All right, that's it for today's edition of the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.